capable hands of our commentators to let you know what all is about to start happening.
Hi, I'm Shadow, MWDA Shadow. I'm here with Aaron 2U2, and we got a Zelda 2 100% all keys 1cc race coming up for ins.
All right, hello everybody and welcome. And yeah, this should be very exciting. We are just starting the All Keys tournament. It was actually supposed to start right now, but I think we're delaying it for this particular race. But yeah, in the spirit of this season, we're having this exhibition between 5 people. You see 4 on the screen. Dude, React, Chosenir, and Chromaticalism. Trev White is also racing, and he'll be rotated in intermittently. But we are just about to start.
Yep, we got the countdown from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they're off.
All right, and the way the Zelda 2 All Key Speedrun works is that there's a lot of very important stuff that happens right off the bat. And right here, we'll see them going to the Magic Cave. Whoever gets a 50 experience P-Bag here will greatly benefit from just a little bit of relief, because they're all going to aim for it. I believe every one of these players has that sort of experience. So we'll see here in just a moment who gets what, and can explain in a moment what that means.
And there's 6 enemies in this cave. Oh, we got a bag for Zet Chroma down on the bottom left or bottom right.
Yeah, it looks like Chroma's the only one who got one. That bag is a 1 out of 8 drop on that enemy, but there is a manipulation that our players have set up, and we are seeing Chosen manage to run into a fairy. You don't really want to find any overworld encounters unless you're doing it on purpose, and no one's trying to get one on purpose just yet, so it's a little unfortunate. But as far as our leveling goes, what Chroma has found should help him out a lot. The rest of our players are just running straight along. They're gonna have to hope for a lot of bag luck inside of our Palace 1 to make it through with ideal leveling.
Yep, so now they're all gonna try and skip this bubble encounter here. Looks like everyone did it successfully. Now, will anyone try it on the way back?
I wouldn't be surprised to see it. I know this is a particular strat that these players have worked on a lot. Everyone here is part of something we like to call Dumpster Fire Racing, organized by Trav White, and usually done Monday nights. It hasn't been recently because of various things, and now with the tournament, we're going to be a little distracted. But looks like only Dude was able to get the reverse bubble. Everybody else got stuck in the water.
And that's something that we'll see a lot of, especially later in the race. Those overworld trap spaces, the players are going to try to manipulate it so that they have one of the roaming enemies land on that tile at the same time, so that the game prioritizes the roaming enemy over the set trap space.
Right, and that is another thing brought up by chat here. I believe some of our players killed the gorilla down there. Some of them didn't. That's a bit of a meme. Chroma missed the key twice. That's very unfortunate. It's a little bit of time loss there, but it should be fine. And yeah, what we're seeing here, it's rough in P1. There is a chance to recover. There is a fairy here that will get your life back if you take too much damage, but you really want to have beams for a lot of this. It makes life just a lot simpler. And again, if you're unfamiliar with Zelda 2, when you have maximum hit points, like in a lot of Zelda games, you can shoot beams out of your weapon. And it seems like it's kind of weak in this one, but it's actually very useful in certain enemies.
It looks like the Terrific Tracy is asking if it is safer to kill the gorilla, and I'm thinking that it is not necessarily safer to kill it. It's just that some players are counting on those 20 points they get from it.
Right, yeah, and it depends. If you can kill it routinely the same way, it works out as far as the back end of that double bubble, but I think a lot of times people just skip it, especially if they've already missed the 50 P-Bag out of Magic Cave, because in that case it doesn't really matter. At that point you're relying on both of our 50-50 drops inside of this palace to go in your favor to hit the required experience you need to get to attack 4 outside of this.
Alright, so this is a good spot to maybe talk about the runners a little bit while they're going to get the first item. Dude in the upper left is the current world record holder in this category. And Riak in the upper right is in 6th place.
And to kind of add to that, I believe Riak is also the 2-time runner-up in the All Keys tournament. So he's definitely a favorite both in this race and in the tournament that's coming up.
And now they're going to get the first item. So what 100% consists of is they don't need to get up to levels 888, which are the max levels for attack, magic, and life that you see in the top of the screen. But they do need to get the item in each palace. They need to get each of the heart and magic containers in the overworld, which will give them 8 life and magic bars. And they need to place the crystal at the end of each palace. And as may have been hinted at by the words all keys appearing in the category name, they need to unlock each door with the key.
Right. So, there are ways to glitch around that, but they are prohibited in this run. Well, you can still do it, but you actually have to have the key when you do it, which makes it kind of pointless.
And I'm guessing that if you would happen to go through one of those doors without a key, that you'd probably have to waste a few minutes going back to it with a key, and you wouldn't be in contention anyway.
Yeah, something like that. Now, looking at this skeleton here, this is our first chance at a 50p bag. A 200 experience bag that we call 50/50s that you get from every 6th large enemy that you kill. Unfortunately, both Dude and Riak got a red jar, which means that they are almost certainly leaving here at attack 3, which will make the next 10 to 15 minutes of this run a little bit more complicated.
Ozen got it.
Nice, but with his... I think he might still need another one, or is he 9 experience short? I'm having trouble telling. Now, he's still 50 short, so he still needs that extra bag, I believe.
So there's a chance that all 4 of them could be running out of here at attack 3.
Yeah, we just saw that Chroma did not get it either. Chosen got level 3, but this last one will not be experienced. It will be a 50/50 drop. And it's the bag, so Chosen's in good shape then, as far as leveling is concerned. And yes, everybody else fighting the boss, Riak and Dude, both getting out of there with 1 life bar or less. Very scary and dangerous. But otherwise, it looks like everybody else is clear. Also can report that a runner not on screen right now, Trav White, managed to clear, and he will have attack 4 as well. So he got double bags. He didn't actually get the cave bag either. So he got the good luck.
Alright, and of course, attack 4 might help Chosen save a few seconds in Death Mountain. But overworld encounters are going to have a much bigger impact overall.
Yes, Lordo, that's a very interesting way to put that. If you look at our times, and Shadow started on it, that Trav White and Chosen have the lower or the higher PBs compared to the other racers, and they're the 2 that have attack 4, which should even this up just a little bit, make it a little bit more exciting, I think.
We'll see, they're all going to get the trophy, which is one of the items necessary to collect the spells. Each of the towns have a spell that they'll need to collect or learn in order to reach 100%. And 2 of the towns are going to have sword fighting techniques that you need to learn from a resident knight. So all 10 of those will need to be learned throughout their adventure through Hyrule.
Yeah, and looking at where they are again. The spell they're getting, Jump, is necessary in almost every category anyway, but in this category you have to get everything. So the only things that you don't have to get are some of the various overworld things like 1-ups and red jars and experience B bags. Those are all optional, but pretty much everything else is required. So we will see our players more or less cover the entirety of Hyrule during this race.
Yeah, I think when there's a lot going on at the beginning of the run, we didn't mention it, but none of the runners went to the very first town, Shield Town. So none of them have the shield spell yet.
Right. There is a manipulation for that later after Palace 2 that a lot of people like to do. And that was a fun thing. I just noticed their dude got the boomerang from the Guria was coming back, and it got absorbed by one of the blue pots, the single magic refills, and that's really neat. What we're going to see here with the leveling is that our players who did not get attack 4 are probably going to be very much focused on getting that before they take much of anything else. I think they might take life 2, and that's about it until they hit that attack 4, because they really need to make sure they squeeze every bit of experience out of this to get their leveling right by the end of the second palace.
And of course they're all hoping to just not get hit by anything anyway. But it can be nice to, while going through Death Mountain, get a few take a few magic and life refills from gaining those levels. And it looks like Chosen was unable to run away from this overworld encounter.
Yeah, he was really close, I think, to getting the perfect Bagu walk. I didn't see him get any. This is just, it's an area that isn't 100% manipulatable, and it's kind of hard to dodge the encounters here, but at the level that these players are at, dodging encounters is a massive source of time save. So we're going to try to avoid almost all of them. And we can see that the lead has changed up a little bit. I believe Riak either got 1 encounter or 0, and I think Dude hit a couple, and that's how we kind of see the positioning change here.
Yeah, because Riak is already grabbing the mirror, and Dude's a few seconds behind. They have to take the mirror back to the lady in purple, and then she'll introduce you to her dad or uncle or grandfather, or that will teach you the life spell, which is that's a handy spell to have.
Yeah, life is the spell that in a speedrun you really don't want to have to cast, but you're probably going to have to do it at some point.
And I think for the casual player of this game, where you're playing this game and realize that, oh my goodness, it's never going to drop a heart. There's no way to regain your health in this game. Then you get the life spell. It's like, gives you a little bit of relief. And then you go to Death Mountain.
Yes, which for a lot of players, Death Mountain can be a little bit relaxing at this point because it's very difficult when you first start playing the game, but this is not considered one of the hard parts for most racers. Now, I'm saying that, and I might be cursing our runners in advance, but there is a lot of technique that goes into it, and it winds up that these caves, considering the way you do them, tend to be pretty linear, and it's very, you get used to it very quickly.
Yeah, I don't think I have seen any runners take a death yet.
No, we're all still on all of our lives, which is very important. This is a category that you are not supposed to take a game over on. Race rules allow for it, but you have to... I think this particular set of race rules is basically a gentleman's agreement. They're not going to make people do anything really obnoxious like we would normally do in a race and have to go back to the absolute spot that was a game over in. But they will... but basically, it's just that they're not going to use a game over as a cheat at the same time, which you can do and will do in some other categories. Considering where we are right now, this might be a good time to switch through some of our runners if our restreamer can hear me.
Yeah, it looks like Trav is just exiting the same room we just saw Chosen exit, so he's right in there with them.
Yes, this race is still very even right now. I think Riak has about 7 seconds on Dude, and Chroma and Chosen are both about 10 seconds behind him. So it's very even. I think Trav is just about in the same area.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like Trav might be just about a second ahead of Chosen, who is maybe about 5 seconds or so behind Chroma. So still got everyone within about 20 seconds. And they just just mowed down the red Dyra that I think killed me about 500 times before I ever advanced through this part of the game.
That's one of the big beginner obstacles in this game, is learning how to fight the red Dyras, because you can't do much about their axe that they throw at you except dodge it, and figuring out that timing is really important. But once you do, the game gets a little bit easier down here, because they're the real danger of anything else that's in these caves.
Is that his name, Karate Stick? Evil Goofy? Is that the name for that red Dyra? Alright, we're going with that, Evil Goofy. I always wondered what his name was. Yeah, no, I never even thought about it before. They did kind of look like Goofy, even though Goofy's a dog. And I think the Dyras are supposed to be humanoid alligators.
Yeah, I think so. You never know. It could be up to something. Goofy could be up to something. It's been a little while since I've seen Goofy, but you know.
Oh, is that it? Crocodiles? Thank you, Trails. And Trails, Trav also got attack 4. Not on screen, but Trav is also in here.
Yeah, and it looks like otherwise their leveling is all very consistent. 4 or 3 attack, 1 magic, 2 life. And yeah, if you don't get attack 4 out of P1, getting it around the hammer tends to be about when you hit that 1,000 experience mark and are able to switch out. So that's what it looks like we got. And you'll see, yeah, Chosen and I believe Trav, who again is off screen right now, both have about 1,000 point lead. But yeah, again, right now, Riak and Dude are kind of tearing it up, and now we're flipping out. It looks like Trav White's jumping into the top spot there. So we'll keep you abreast of anything interesting that changes with our other runners.
Yeah, and I think I need to switch over to him on my other device here.
Yeah, so once you get the hammer, you exit out of the hammer cave. You get the magic jar, which again is necessary for this category, but also, you know, good. You need all of those 8 magic containers in this category at some random part or another. We can get into that later. And now a lot of what we're going to see after this is some lengthy walks, some town parts. There's a few challenging screens to go through, but a lot of this is dodging encounters. Be very careful not to take any unnecessary encounters as we exit Death Mountain, because they can screw up a lot of different timing situations.
And alright, good. None of the Octoroks appeared to have knocked anyone into the lava. No lava bats on the way out of there. But, of course, you hope to never take an unplanned death, but that will occasionally happen. But you hope that it happens trying to get through a battle with only 1 bar of health. Of course, that can be absolutely devastating if you're just going through the game, everything's fine and dandy, and then next thing you know, something's knocking you into a lava bath.
Yeah, and yeah, we see Chroma there dodging an encounter. We see a bunch of road encounters. These are mostly taken on purpose to manipulate the walk there. If you don't take any encounter, you usually wind up with a bad one at some point. So those road encounters, we call them half encounters. They take about half the time if a normal one does, and you know, safe and otherwise. So there's nothing too risky. Now they're going into the actual medicine last room in the medicine cave, this can be a little risky, especially for a newer player, because you have 2 sets of red dyras, but it looks like most of our players should be able to get through them.
Yep, let's see. Dude and Chosen proudly holding up that medicine container, which they need to get the fairy spell out of the next town.
Now, this is a room that if you've had a particularly bad walk, might choose to take a Death Abuse on. Saw Chroma casting life to get that magic back. You really want to have a full magic bar, or almost a full magic bar, getting out of here, because in the next town, we need to cast the jump spell. And at Magic 1, that's going to take 3 bars. And if you can't do that, you have to take a very lengthy and annoying magic recovery in the town, which, again, it looks like they're all going to avoid, and that's for their benefit. That it'd be just kind of depressing to see that.
Right, and it looks like Riak is still in the lead here by a good bit. He's already into town. He might have a solid 10. He might be up to a solid 10-second lead right now.
Yeah, we didn't see anyone really have any trouble in this walk at all. I may have missed an encounter here or there, but it looked like everyone either got the road encounter right after the boulder, call that the boulder dash, or took the cat's tile, which is, I'm not exactly sure where that name came from, but you take that by drawing a plains encounter and then just taking that on the road as well. So yeah, we have a little bit of time now as we're in the town walking around. I don't know if there's anything related to donation incentives or anything we want to talk about yet, or if we're saving that for later. Oh, Cat's on Your Head found that. That's awesome. I haven't seen her around in a while. But, all right, I don't see anything regarding that, but I do want to mention that we do have one donation goal that was met for this run that we'll be seeing later, and that is what I like to call the No Coward Corner donation incentive, which means that at the end of this race, nobody is allowed to hide in the corner to fight the boss of the game. They have to fight him straight up. And at least one of our runners is very worried about that. I won't say who it was, but this could be a very interesting run. We won't know who wins until they actually win.
And that's something I would like to learn one day, but I think just I would watch people do it and be like, oh, it's just like fighting an iron knuckle. I can get the hang of that. And I think the best I've ever done going into the fight with full health is I think I got 3 hits. I have to get 8 hits in on Dark Link.
Oh, okay. Now, looking out of this, people take kind of a weird walk out of Mido, the fairy town there. Chosen must have taken an extra step because he got an encounter on the boulder square, which winds up being a full desert encounter, which is somewhat unfortunate. Now, we see that the people who have full bars of magic, who got a refill, probably cast fairy, and we just saw Trav White do that once they grab that heart. It saves a couple of seconds. It's worth it because there's a full magic refill coming up.
And it looks like Riak is already getting to the second palace. He did get an encounter just a couple spaces before, but...
Yes, this walk 2P2, it's possible to get 0 encounters, but it's very, very difficult. And for the most part, usually take at least 1 road encounter there.
Man, dude, just getting there now, so it seems like Riak might be up full encounter and a half right now.
But if we're watching him off the screen, he might be a little bit of a time lag difference there. But
that is true.
In response to Hylian in chat, 100% does not involve leveling. What we will likely see the runners end at is 886. That's the general version, although some minor errors or something could alter that. And I think, I know even some runners have purposely taken life 4 at times to save time. I don't think we'll see that here, but it is a possibility.
Yeah, but if someone mislevels somewhere along the line, you might see them end up at something like 877 or 876.
Yeah, and there's a concern when you leave Palace 1 at Attack 3 that you may not find enough experience along the way to get your leveling fixed by the end of P2. If we look at our players on screen right now, and Trav and Chosen are fine because they left at Attack 4, so they basically got an extra 1,000 experience over the others. Dude is probably fine. Chroma's experience is a little bit scary. He might have to kill some things if he doesn't get some good luck with bag drops from here on out.
As if you don't leave Palace 3 with at least attack, or Palace 2 with at least attack 6, then they're pretty much guaranteed to miss a magic level later on.
Yeah, and he hasn't done anything that would... he hasn't skipped anything in particular. He's just had very bad luck. If he can get at least one bag drop, it's probably enough to save it. He might have to kill a couple of skull bubbles at some point. Otherwise, and there's theoretically a way you can save it through P3, but that involves still not taking any levels, and it would be real scary, I think.
Yeah, and I think that Chroma just got another magic drop there.
Yeah, he's got to be a bit worried. And you saw that bag drop. That was a 50p bag because it was off of a small enemy. I imagine if it wasn't so much time to go back, having already jumped over the river spot there, he might have went back and taken it. But yeah, he's just in a little bit of trouble. But I guess we'll see. He might be able to come back from it still. All right, now we see on screen, Dude is just about to enter the glove screen. This is the treasure out of P2, and it's required to pretty much beat everything in the game anyway, but even if it wasn't an all keys category, it's hard to get too far. And looking at the bottom, Chosen got what the Z2 community likes to affectionately call the middle finger from the block room, as there was just one giant pile of blocks that he couldn't do anything about and had to cast Fairy to get over them. It has to be pretty annoying, but luckily he had the magic to do it and didn't have to leave and come back.
As he did not have the glove yet. Now that he has the glove, though, be able to break those blocks throughout the rest of the game. And there are many places in the game where it's going to be necessary to break those blocks.
Yep, absolutely. And it looks like all of our runners still have not lost a life. I'm not saying it like I'm expecting them to, but it's good that they haven't. Something else to keep in mind about where the runners are right now. Some of them have leveled more than others, and it does take up a bit of time. We see Chroma going back. He, again, did not get a bag drop. That was another 50-50 that ended up being a red jar. And it's getting very unfortunate for him. He's going to have to kill just about everything on the way here to catch up. With his leveling, he needs 1950 in his experience before he fights Helmet Head to be good.
There's a third Stalfos in there. Can he go back and respawn it? For some reason, it despawns if you kill the first two. I've found. I don't know if it reappears if you go back in the room or not.
Well, Chroma still has a 200p bag that's downstairs that I know of. He has this guy right here. He has another one of these guys, so that's 100 potential experience. And then there are 3 large enemies, one of which could drop a bag, plus one more red IK. I think
the P bag is only 100 points. The one that's on the disintegrating blocks, he's gonna kill he's gonna kill a bubble.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to rely on another 50-50. Those have not been going his way. The fact that he killed just enough bots to be over that total might be necessary. And meanwhile, up top, we see Dude just take care of Helmet Head really quickly. We barely saw his head come out of out of his armor is killed so quick. And again, his leveling is fine, and he'll be leaving P2 in fine shape here in just a moment.
And not 100% sure where he is in relation to the other runners since he's off screen, but Riak has also successfully killed Hammerhead.
Chosen is Chosen's a little bit weak going into that one, so he had to take that fight really safe. And it looks like that helped Trav White to catch up completely. Chroma does have his leveling correct. It looks a little bit odd, but he'll have just enough. He'll have to clear a couple of menus here, but he'll clear that 150 and be able to take the experience result here, which will give him 2,847 experience.
So that was well done by Chroma. And slowed him down. It probably took him about 20 seconds, but worth it to kill that one bubble.
All right, and we're rotating back through again. I believe Riak and Dude are essentially tied. We see there on screen. There's always a little bit of error when it comes to restreaming and stuff, that there might be a bit of lag on one or the other. So I would say they're within the margin of error right now, which is great. Again, and the other two players that we see on screen are not that far behind. Maybe, I would say Trav's about 20, 25 seconds. And they're getting that shield spell that they skipped earlier, which will help them make the walk to P3 a little bit more reliable.
Yeah, so right after Dude and Riak get the shield spell, Trav and Chosen seem to be just entering town.
Right, and that walk out of P2 is something that is very difficult to manipulate correctly. There's still like new strats and ideas being thrown around for that thing all the time. And I believe, if I saw it correctly, I think Chosen ended up taking one extra encounter over the others, which is why he suddenly dropped off a little bit compared to Trav. Each unnecessary encounter usually eats you about 12 to 13 seconds, I believe.
And the road encounter's about 5 or 6 seconds. Right, about half of the total normal time.
Yep, absolutely. But when we see both Dude and Riak going through the pass-through cave here on the way to P3, everyone uses a different manipulation on this island because I don't think anything makes 100% sense. But they're going through. Dude managed to get all of his magic back. That probably won't change anything, but we do see their leveling. He has a little bit of work to do here, so he might have to fight some things that Riak might otherwise skip. And the fact that Riak has an extra level already gained, that's another 4 seconds or so that Riak actually has on Dude that we just don't see yet because he hasn't gained that last level. And there was a comment in chat about magic leveling. I think it's becoming a bit more in vogue to take magic levels as late as possible. Unless you are having, or I should say, as you get to be a little bit more experienced in the game, I think people don't generally take magic early because they don't need it. The only thing you really need magic for coming into this is like jump spells or fairy spells that you don't cast a whole lot in this category. At least the fairies, you don't cast a whole lot. And so I think they're pushing it back because there's some utility specifically here in P3 in getting magic refills, getting 2 different ones. One before you go down here to the basement where the raft is, so you have jump cast without having to kill some extra things. And then also to have one afterwards so you can ferry the raft.
And we are watching what I believe is the only point in this game where you go outside while you're in a palace. Unless you were to some reason, go back out to the entrance.
Yeah, it's a mechanic that barely gets into this game. There's nothing different. It's just a background flip, but it's kind of neat. You see that more in the Zelda 2 randomizer by DigShake. There are a lot of custom rooms that take advantage of that sort of background, including a boss fight that actually happens outside.
What? That's the Barba fight they do outdoors, if I remember right.
Yep, that would be very. That's the one that there is. I wouldn't be surprised to see more in future iterations because it's fun.
And It's my understanding that, like, at least the first, like, pretty much every palace actually has an outside area like that, that just the camera never pans that far, so you don't see it. Something like that. I might be misunderstanding that. Technical code stuff, anyway.
Now, I have some very limited experience with the program that is normally used for these, Z2 Edit, and I think it's just an option. As far as Chosen skipping a bag, I don't think he needs the experience, so it's probably not worth the effort in getting it. Even that Magic 3, there's tons of experience in here. A lot of things get skipped in P3 when you don't need it, and that's why you can dip and not take as many magic and life levels early on to compensate, because you can usually get it back here.
Riak and Dude both get the Never Jar, Trails points out.
You saw on the screen too, there's something, Chosen tried to do it, it didn't quite work. Like the hippie strat, where you dip back right before the elevator and it causes the floating head to spawn from the back. It's really nifty. It's something that I didn't realize how it would work completely until today, actually. People were explaining it to me and I still couldn't do it right.
But at least 3 out of 5 have gotten got the jar that is never supposed to be a jar. I didn't see the other 2.
Alright, and then we saw things like bag skips there, and the Rebo fights are exciting. Dude takes the guy straight on and completely nukes him. That was a wonderful fight.
And we're seeing Riak maybe just about 3 seconds ahead of Dude, give or take.
Yeah, there was a little bit more, but I think Dude just cleaned up on that fight so quickly, and that caught him up a few seconds. There's a thing that we sometimes see out of the runners on that Rebo fight, Rebonak, that they will lead him into the corner, dismount him there, and do a jackhammer strat on him in the corner. I like to refer to that as the other coward corner, like we see Trav White doing. No offense to anyone who does it, but it's awesome to see people just nuke the boss where he stands and not rely on anything like that. All right, as our runners are clearing P3. We have a bit of a stretch here where there's a lot of walking and encounters, and I think at this point we're going to cut back to our hosts who have a few things to speak about.
Yeah. Just wanted to come in and talk about a few things that we've got coming up. We do run after next is Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. We have a file name incentive. We have a bid war to name it. Whatever has the highest donations is the name of the character, and currently nobody has donated towards that, so might be able to get something you want on the cheap. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how chat decides to to go about that. And Trez also wanted me to make sure to promote the upcoming Wand of Gamelon incentive. There is an incentive to hit all of the cutscenes. All of them. Yes, all of them. We are currently at $50 out of $750 for that incentive, so hopefully by the time we get there, we can have reached that, because that is where you find joy in that game, is those cutscenes. So hopefully we can see all of those coming up. Just have a few donations want to get through as well. We've got, from Jimbo, a $250 donation. And the message is just a smiley face, so happiness. We also, from Mel, from one of the earlier runs, we've got a $100 donation. Pictionary, nice skulls, extra skulls, and ice traps. Great time all. Mel was one of our commentators for that, so thank you very much for honoring your pledge to donate for all of the crazy stuff. I will send it back over to the commentators.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And yeah, thanks everyone who's donating. This is, I believe this is towards pancreatic cancer research, and that is something that's definitely needed. That is a particularly mean type of cancer that I know doesn't have the highest success rate of healing. So thank you everyone who's donating to this great cause.
And let's see, looks like we have some runners in Reflect Town right now.
It's the spell where you get Reflect, but more importantly, you get Upstab, which is the best stab. This has been proven time and time again by our randomizer players. Where are you, Trails? Give us a shout out to Upstab. But yeah, this is a bit of a lengthy walking period. We've already seen the lead change slightly. It looks like React gained a couple more seconds on Dude. I think that was due to some encounter luck along the way, which is, that's the big thing we have to deal with here, our encounters. There's a long walk to the child that you have to rescue by P4, a long walk back to Darunia, the town that they're in, and then a long walk to P4. And dodging the encounters here, how well you do that's very important. We see React talk to the sign, get the MOU up, which is very, very important for this manipulation to skip these encounters.
Lord of Ultima calling the Upstab the Best by test, which I always thought was, at least I had heard that phrase before using the context of opening with E4 in chess. And it doesn't matter which one I open with.
Yeah, I've heard chess is a pretty interesting game, but it's no Z2.
Lord of Ultima is confirming it's a chess saying.
We saw React get through the encounters on this walk really well, and Dude did the exact same. Neither of them took in a single encounter, except for the ones they used on purpose to dodge the otherwise lengthy full screens that you have to walk through. If you get an encounter, you only have to walk through half of the screen, so it does save a few seconds. And is also usually safer, although at Life 3, the enemies in this zone, the game does not expect you to be at Life 3, so you really don't want to take any hits because they hit really hard. Yes, meanwhile, we've cycled back through and we see Chroma has kind of regained himself. He had lost quite a bit of time early on and in P2 with some of the extra leveling stuff he had to do. But he is just a little bit behind our other players. I think he's actually ahead of Chosen, who I think took a few encounters on the way through here.
Yeah, it looks like Chosen is probably at this time just getting back to the maze.
And we see them get the 7th magic container. There's only one left, 2 more heart containers. All very important stuff. What you will see out of our players from P4 is that they will probably die a lot. And that is on purpose. This palace has a lot of lengthy corridors that people like to use magic on and to get various magic refills and to save some time. You see some death abuses, so we might see one from Riak in this room. If not here, we'll probably see one the next time he goes into a lava room like this.
Yep, there are 3 rooms just like this with plenty of lava for Link to just go take a bath in.
Yes, in a race like this, people tend to play a little bit tighter. I believe in Dude's world record, he takes death abuse in all 3 screens and just kind of rolls through them because that's what you really have to do at world record pace. But yeah, we see him get the red jar. This lets him get to our item room, which we'll see here in a moment, and our next, what you might call death abuse room, rather safely. But if he didn't get that, like looking at Chroma's screen, if he doesn't get that, he might just take the death abuse. But he also likes to jump the fire without the jump spell, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's crazy to see that those that got out of Palace 1 with Attack 3, even though they maybe had to do a little bit more work to get there, they all pretty much have the same levels now. 733 or 734. There's Chroma with the death abuse.
And if you look, Chroma and Trav both got that key at the exact same time, but Chroma took that death abuse and left the screen about 6 seconds earlier because he was just able to kind of warp back to the start. Now, he did lose a life. That's something you have to keep track of. But as long as he doesn't have any serious issues with, dying from here on out, it shouldn't be any real penalty. The way it works, you start out with 3 lives, and the players normally get 2 more extra lives through the course of events in the game. So a few death abuses are pretty much scheduled in.
And none of the runners went and got a third extra life that's a little bit out of the way. Probably costs about 20 to 30 seconds to grab an extra life. And then the final extra life that's in the overworld is way out of the way, because you gotta trudge through some swamps and you're pretty much guaranteed an encounter or two if you try to get it.
Yeah, there is very little chance that we're going to see anyone get that. That's an emergency scenario. There's actually 2 extra lives inside of palaces, but one of them is in P6, and you pretty much have to take a death abuse to get it, because you need a lot of magic in the room that's after it, and you have to run through 2 very fast skull bubbles to get it. So that one's more like a death abuse life that people tend to take immediately. And then the last one's in Grand Palace, which is way out of the way, and hopefully we don't see anybody have to get that.
Yeah, the Palace 6 extra life you probably will see someone get if they are in trouble in terms of magic. Because they will need to cast Fairy in the room right after the room that has that extra life. So if someone doesn't have enough magic to cast Fairy, they probably will have to, as a backup strat, grab that extra life, then take the death abuse. Unless they could also be comfortable with the lives they have and just go ahead and take the death abuse.
Right, and since I mentioned it before, Chroma has taken 2 death abuses, and he was basically tied with Trav White not too long ago, and now he has something like a 30-second lead, partially due to that, and partially due to otherwise solid play. So we see him kind of inching up and closing up just a little bit on our leaders, who are both still playing extremely well. We see React take that death abuse, and the last one is generally automatic because you want maximum life and maximum magic before you head off to our boss.
What, a magic 3, it takes up, about half your magic to fight the final boss?
The Reflect spell is still 80 at magic 3, which means it takes up 5 full bars. They could cast Reflect as well, but if they have most of their life, they probably won't, because it's very unlikely that they'll need to.
So it takes up 5 out of the 7 bars. I might be thinking of attack or magic 4, where it takes up a full 3 or 4 bars.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper at Magic 4. Unfortunately, the experience routing doesn't allow for that here. I have, on a couple of occasions, ended this at 743, but that was not on purpose. And it meant having to waste some time getting some experience that you otherwise wouldn't have to get. And Riak having an extremely good Karok fight, if I saw that correctly. It looked like he kind of roasted him. Karak is a gigantic RNG fest. There's very little you can do to speed this up, except for some somewhat complicated manipulations that aren't really viable in this category because it takes too long to set up.
You just sit there, you cast the reflex spell and let his beams bounce off your shield, and then he ping-pongs around the room, and you hope that he does not have iframes when the shield beams are passing him back up.
We'll see as our runners clear P4. P5 is just about 30 seconds away. It's a very quick walk. It's actually our quickest palace-to-palace transition. So this whole stretch just feels like a lot of palace time, and both P4 and P5 are quite long. In this category, P6 is actually quicker, so your longest palace log is just all together.
And alright, React got what is known as the Eco Key.
Yeah, the game intends for you to cast Fairy there, but it was found out through what has been described to me as a night of heavy drinking, that if you cast Jump and get hit by something, it can bounce you right up onto the ledge. And that is now practiced by most of our top tier runners in this game.
And let's see, I just missed whether Dude got it, but I'm assuming by how quick he got from one point to another that he did.
Yeah, he definitely did. You can, even if you don't see it, you can tell by the magic consumption, because he's only used enough magic for Jump. If he casts Jump and fails and has to cast Fairy, his magic bar will be basically gone. Like if you see, that's what React just did in that room. Commonly known as the React block room, because he's lost multiple PBs because of that stupid room's RNG.
It looks like we just put Chosen back up.
And look at Dude, he's getting another set of very interesting shaped blocks just to get in his way. It was comparable to what React had. There is a huge swing in time save right there.
So Chosen now just entering Palace 5.
And we see Chroma down there. He is one room behind. Granted, it's kind of a long and annoying room, but he is not too far away from Dude now either.
I think we just missed whether Trav got Eco Key. Trav was actually being taken off the screen in the room where we would have seen him do that. So did you see, Aaron, whether Trav got Eco Key?
I believe he got it as well.
He
just
got
based
it as
off
well?
of where
Nice.
he is, he's still, what we would consider to be fourth place at the moment. If you miss it,
All
it
right.
costs you about 20 to 25 seconds, so it's a significant thing. And it's great to see. I mean, we didn't have the good P1 luck today with bags, which should be somewhat close to a 75% odds, but we did get Eco Key, so skill won today.
And while there are still keys throughout the rest of the game, Palace 5 is the last palace where the players will need to go out of their way to collect keys.
And we're at a very small pathing difference here. We see Chroma skipping the flute for now, which is in the bottom basement, and going eastward. We might see, I believe he said he's 8 for 8 now in getting what we like to call swag key. So let's see what he does up here in this next room if he's able to get it again.
That looked pretty nice. Lord of Ultima says flute first is the only true way. It's my understanding that it really doesn't make a difference either way. Although I guess it is the same number of pixels you wind up moving one way or another, but I have a feeling that if you broke it down, it just seems like there has to be like a frame or two difference going one way or another, but
the only real difference here, and this is how I would put it, is that there's a jar on the other path, the path that doesn't go to flute, to that key. And if I'm in danger, I will take that path first, and if I'm not, I'll do it second, because that lets me ferry the flute down here and still get a reliable magic refill.
Looks like that is what Ultima's confirming in the chat, that depends on when you need a jar.
And yeah, to comment on what chat said, Trails pointed out, did not get the swag key for Dude, but Chroma did. So I guess that's 9 for 9 now. We'll have to, if we get the chance for any interviews after the race, we might have to ask him about it. Like, how does he get all of the swag?
Take notes on that for later.
Yeah, and now just to point out what we're kind of doing with leveling, because that's a constant concern in this category. Everyone should have the 8-4-4 stat line coming in here. And what we'll see them is they will try to take the experience out of here and shoot straight to that 9,000 that attack level 9 will cost. They will not take that. Instead, they'll be able to take all that experience and pour it into the other levels and catch up on everything they've been neglecting up to now.
Yeah, you don't want to take any attack 9 unless you're just playing casually and you have everything else up to max levels. And then you can take attack 9 and get that extra life. But yeah, there is no attack 9. All you get is a lousy extra life. Someone should put that on a t-shirt. It's like the picture of Link holding up a doll of himself.
You see, React fighting Guma. In the way this run works, Guma tends to be the biggest challenge because he hits for over half of your life when he hits you. But he's able to dispatch him. He did get hit once, but otherwise got through. It's a bit scary, but usually people have full magic and they can cast shield if they need to, which is what React did. And make sure that they are able to survive that. But yeah, he toasted it pretty good. Dude does a very standard good fight. He's kind of hiding inside a Guma there after beating him. GG's to both of them to get through that. And yeah, now they're going to be heading off to the long walk to P6.
It looks like Chroma is about to enter the boss fight next.
And to update where the other runners are, I believe Trav is a screen ahead of Chosen. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. He just grabbed the key from behind the blue iron knuckle. We'll see here in a moment. There's another relevant leveling issue. We see Riak wanting to carry that experience in the town. He does. He gets the leveling inside of the town, which does save about a second for each level, I believe, because for whatever reason, the fanfare that plays when you level up or find things is shorter in town than it is anywhere else. So leveling is quicker in town. Yeah, it's great.
What is it? There's just something like whatever happens in town as opposed to what happens in battle scenes, they have something different loaded up into RAM for that fanfare to play, and the game just tells RAM, give me the fanfare, or something like that. I should never talk about code stuff. I don't know how any of that stuff works. I just know it has something to do with that.
Yeah, Chosen survives the Guma fight. It looked like he was the only one that had any real struggle there. I saw Trav dispatch him pretty quickly. And none of our players have taken a bad death yet. I think every death has been planned so far, which is amazing. That's the biggest challenge in all Keys runs, is not getting sniped by something unnecessary.
Yep, all the players are bringing it today. I know that kind of all want to have a death or two extra life or two in the back pocket, but theoretically, you could clear this game without picking up both those extra lives.
And I gotta point it out because it's on screen. Chroma is answering his phone while he's doing this run. That's how capable our players of. He's having a conversation while he's oh, and he decided to go for the rest. This manipulation they do out of this town, which I like to call the Welk strat, because usually you do it talking to the sign, but I think he's giving Lordo his due and deciding to just talk to the random person instead of the sign, being personable. And he still gets the manipulation.
Nice. And Ultima pointing out that dude missed a slink, so he took an extra encounter.
And he's not going for any strat that I've seen here, too. Unless that was just a misstepped, which I think was what that was. That or he was trying to do the Lordo walk without doing the actual pathing that he takes. But yeah, I think he was just trying to dodge all the encounters. So he's running face first into another one. Meanwhile, I don't think we saw... Well, you didn't see it on screen. I'm pretty sure React took no encounters the whole way there. Because he is already in New Kasuto with the spell.
It looks like Chosen is in New Kasuto as well. Of course, in the lore of this game, the residents of Kasuto had to abandon their town and move up into the woods up on the other side of that cave. And
yeah, he took the Welk track to get out of the town, and he managed it as well. It's that's something that's still being developed. That's a strat that React is kind of learning, where you see that in Mido too, where leaving the town, there's a manipulation where you don't go directly to the next place. You take a step sideways out of the town to eat up extra steps, and it can lead to more favorable encounters. Very complicated. I don't understand it at all, but that's the general premise.
It looks like Trav missed that skip beginning the walk through the Wilson walls.
Now, it is a bit of a time loss because it's a full screen you have to work through. It's not like eating a normal encounter too, because it's just a road encounter. So it does hurt a little bit, but if you see our runners pause a lot, that is specifically to see where the encounters appear and to try to dodge them. We saw Chosen do that with just pretty well. Trav unfortunately wasn't able to, and ate a fight there.
Oh, and Aaron, congratulations on your PB earlier today.
Well, thank you. It only took me a little over 11 months to do. We see, sometimes we rate the poses here as it comes into the spell. Dude did not pose, so he gets a big 0 out of 10.
Chosen in the chat saying, I need you. And so it looks like everyone...
I get the joke. Yeah. And the last run he did, he talked to the woman after he got the magic refill on the way there and didn't need to talk to her and just said, "I don't need you," really loud into the thing. And yeah, I guess he needed it this time. I got distracted, so I didn't see if Chroma did a pose. Let's see if Chosen does any fun pose here. Or if he just walks boringly. Yeah, there you go.
Well, it looks like Grav usually doesn't pose. There you go.
Traditional down stab, I give it an 8 out of 10. The only way you get a 10 out of 10 with me is if you do something with an up stab, because it's the better stab.
Lady Galaga disagrees, gives it 10 out of 10.
Well, it was definitely the highest scoring one that we saw, so I will accept that. And look here, Chroma dodging all the encounters. He is seconds behind Dude. Dude has ate so many encounters in this whole Kasuto walk. out and in that he's just cost him a tremendous amount of time, and Chroma is right on his heels.
Oh, and Pole's voice even wants to give him an 11 out of 10. He has a scorecard that goes up to 11.
There's no comment on that.
Oh, dude caught that last step. That jump is always scary.
Yeah, he went for the normal jump. Chroma took the damage boost. Assuming the blue IK cooperates, which is most of the time, you can time his blades to just jump on one and it bounces you over the gap. It hurts a little bit, but you can do it. But yeah, just as an update, Riak is, I would say, 30 seconds at least ahead. He might be even more than that. He's been roasting this run right now. We don't see him on screen right now, but he's really kind of taken a huge lead.
Yep. And let's see. So in this room, we just saw a dude go through. They need to cast jump and avoid an invisible false floor in the palace. Chroma also just went through there as well. We see Chroma finish up this next Rebanak fight in just about a second and a half before dude.
And he cast Fairy, which he's going all in on this jar, or he's planning a death abuse, because that's some time save right there. So if he doesn't get the jar, we'll probably see him take a death abuse somewhere. He still has one turn to give.
He got the jar.
He got the jar. He's just a few seconds behind, doesn't take the bop. Worked out perfect for him. Although, honestly, the time he saved in the Fairy cast, he kind of lost switching back to jump, which dude did not have to do, but... it's still slightly quicker on his end. Now, the thing about this gap that we saw everyone jump, we just see Chosen jump, and we'll see Trav right there in a moment. That hole is a very unfortunate hole. We fall down in that, we like to call that the Canadian hole. Because if you fall down there, you wind up in Canada. And that is, as far as this is concerned, not a place you want to be. Maybe you like Canada, I'm not making a judgment on that. But it is a massive time loss to fall down there, a minute or more. And certainly no one in our chat has managed to do that today.
Maybe someone... Okay, I see it's back in there. Okay.
All right. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties on our side, but I believe we are back now. So all apologies to anyone who missed us making comments about Canada.
Well, I saw some Canada emotes go up in chat, so I think they at least heard that part.
Yeah, I was being really supportive and positive about Canada, but you kept making fun of them. I don't know why.
But like I said, Riak off screen right now has actually just finished off Palace 6, and he's going to be on the way to the Valley of Death next, and I'm not sure if it would be possible to get his restream back up there somewhere.
I imagine we'll see him in just a moment once we see our players clear P6. But yeah, it looks like Riak has quite the lead. Dude and Chroma are basically neck and neck right now. And I think, if my memory is serving me correct, I think Chosen is just a little bit behind Trav, who is in very dangerous health straits right now. No, never mind. He's actually got a couple of screens on him. I read it backwards.
But he does not want to take a death in this room. And he doesn't.
He's continuing to playing it dangerously. I think he's just accepting he might die. I think he has a death to give. I think all of our players still at least have one life to go. Yeah, certainly going into this Revo fight will not be bad at all. I imagine Trav will be just...
Oh, there he does take a hit.
Ouch.
No, but I think Trails is right. We're not going to see anyone take a game over. Everyone is playing very well today, and looks like we're going to see everyone clear this game without a game over. There we see Riak in the Valley of Death.
Yeah, he's definitely got a bit of a lead. The top players here, and they're fighting through VOD. They will do it without the spell. I think everyone on here might. It's possible. I haven't seen Chosen, sure, but I think they all just go pure aggressive through VOD, which does save a bit of time.
Game over is certainly still possible, but everyone is doing very well. We definitely hope we don't see one.
Alright, and then as we flip back to having Chroma on Ski going to VOD, we do see he got the unlucky luck, wasn't able to get the encounter skip, and had to get the jar. So he's lost a bit of time on Dude now, who looks like he's about 3 full encounters ahead. Riak, however, is just about to enter Grand Palace. And Chroma just took a lava bath. Now he is on his last life. He has to do the rest of this more or less perfectly to finish out this run. And that's the danger with using these more aggressive strats. Spell is a lot more reliable, but it does waste a bit of time. It makes it very safe comparatively.
Oh, and it looks like just the way the MOAs are crisscrossing was making it very hard for Chroma to get through there. Looks like he's conserving magic.
Yeah, he has to be very worried about the magic consumption. But he also is worried. Yeah, he didn't mean to kill that guy. He took Magic 8 early. That means he's going to have to rely on some good jar luck at the end of GP. This is actually a pretty big blow, although it might not seem like it just yet.
So, in fact... Oh, and again...
The coconut there just didn't want to open his eye, and... this is a rough fight.
Bad luck with just the way those MOAs were crisscrossing again. But yeah, it looks like if anyone may need to take the 1-up and use it for a death abuse, it might be Chroma.
Yeah, he's been grinding very hard towards getting the his 75. I think his PB right now is 76.25. It's actually on screen, and he's been very tilted aggressively towards getting that, and those aggressive stats are biting him a little bit in this run, I think. But then again, VOD is just difficult, especially with the harder strats. It's something that I haven't gotten near. And we see Dude taking the level. Again, this is a little bit early, but I think he did it on purpose.
I'm not sure if he did. I think that he just... Like, the sine wave Medusa heads weren't cooperative with him, and he just had to stop and kill them. So I don't think he was planning on that.
Yeah, what you'll see from the runners here is that they will want to take that Magic 8 at the absolute last moment, which would be the muse that we'll see on a crumble bridge later. A very dangerous place to take it. And that's kind of the ideal thing, because then they'll have Magic 8 and a full magic refill before Thunderbird.
And it looks like Chroma is going to go for an alternate route.
Yes, I think he's decided that he knows he probably isn't going to win this race, so he's going to have some fun with it. And he is going for, I believe it's called the L7 room alt skip, which, if you do it perfectly, does save somewhere in the range of, I think, 7 to 10 seconds. But it's very difficult to do, and very few runners try this in an actual attempt. But Chroma, I've seen do it quite a few times. So, meanwhile, Riak is almost done with the palace. He's inching on to this last section here.
We see, he took a hit. It's just about to jinx him and say he had full health, and then one of those bots managed to clip him.
Yeah, he goes in, he falls down the hole, and he is just seconds away from Thunderbird, which takes up pretty much all of your magic to cast every possible defensive spell you can get here. And we'll see how many rounds it takes for him.
And of course, you must cast Thunder in order to defeat Thunderbird.
Alright, so that's about a 1.5 cycle, slightly less. Great job there. Riak, yeah, he's really coasted after that rough start, and is on pace for a 70 or a 75 on attack 3. That is not a common sight at all. Dude, however, had to farm to get that last magic. He's heading that direction right now.
Well, I think he had full magic. I think he just wanted to cast life for safety. And they have to fight, yeah, that's alright, they have to fight Shadow Link straight up.
Yeah, that's what we see Riak doing. These players are not that used to it, and it's not an easy fight whatsoever. I remember as a kid, never figured that out. Meanwhile, dude just one-cycled T-Bird. It's crazy.
Chroma trying to set up his jump. Got it right there. So yep. Chroma will be heading to the end of the game in an unorthodox way. And Riak has almost got this. There it is. Riak does check in as the winner.
Alright, and GG to Riak with a race time GG final time of 1:16.11. Great race.
Let's see if keep an eye on Chosen here.
Yeah, Chroma's now going into T-Bird as well. It'd be hard to think that it's going to take Dude this much time to get through, but he's not guaranteed for this fight by any means. And he's out of healing magic. Meanwhile, Chroma's not going to have anything remote to that sort of benefit. He's going to have to straight up fight him with only shield and less than half of his life.
Yeah, and this is Maker, and their dude just took him down. So Chroma here is probably either going to get third place or a DNF.
Yeah, dude finishes with a time of 1:17.08, so GG to him. Great race overall.
And there, Chroma's got a couple hits in. It is a little hard with this pink background to see exactly where the health bar is at. It's not that bad when you're looking on a CRT, but we see him. I think he's taken about 3 hits so far. Probably only had 4 or 5 hits to give coming into this fight.
Yeah, Chosen, he hasn't fought Dark Link in this scenario too often. This will be interesting, and yeah, we see Chroma take the death. He's got to do the whole thing over. So both of our players here have a real shot at getting through. All they have to do is get through Dark Link. I think Trav, yeah, he's going into Thunderbird right now too. So I think he still has a life to give.
That was a shame, because that was a really great comeback from Chroma as well, with all the bad luck he had in Palace 2 with bag drops after being one of the runners that left Palace 3 on attack, or Palace 1 on attack 3.
Right, now we see Trav White getting into this fight. Chosen looks like he's got a bit of a lead. He can take about 3 more hits, I think, and only needs to hit Link about one more time now. So very tight, and it's fun to watch them try to fight these guys straight up because it's so unnatural. But there we go. Chosen finishing in 3rd place with a 119. GG.
And let's see if Trav can also finish under 80 minutes. There, needs 4 more hits. There's 3.
He's in trouble. He's in a bit of trouble here. He gets him. He can take only 1 more hit, and so it's one
there,
shot, and he gets it. GG. Good job, Trav.
And nice. Clocks in at 119.31.
And there we go. And while we're waiting for Chroma here, who had to take the long journey back through GP, we do want to mention that the Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass run that is coming up, I believe, in less than an hour, still has $0 heading towards the Name the Character incentive. So if you have someone that you want to put that name onto, this would be your opportunity. It could cost you very little because there are currently no bids for it. I would encourage you to do so. Again, all proceeds go towards the Pancreatic Cancer Center, and it would be a lovely thing to see there, to get to put a name of a loved one or maybe a hated one if you really want to embarrass somebody.
Or you could just give the character a really stupid name, just for fun. And then they'd have to call him by that name the entire game.
In no situation would I suggest calling him Trav White's my dad or anything like that.
And it looks like we're seeing Chroma show this alternate route again. So he's cast and jump in this room. You normally want to be on the bottom of this room, but he can jump off of an enemy, get up to the ceiling, and now he'll go to the next room and back, and he just took a much shorter way of getting here.
Yes, thankfully in all keys, ceiling walks are not prohibited because it's not technically considered a warp, even though he did sort of warp there. So it is still technically within the confines of the category, and it's just so difficult. And the time save, while it is real, losing an entire run to being not able to get that is just too scary for most people.
Well, you pretty much need to get it within 2 tries before it saves you any time, right? Or even on the first try.
And the way it works, unfortunately, is that at some point the head stops spawning, and you have to leave the room and come back. So you only get a few tries before you have to reset the entire room. But yeah, here we go. Chroma back at Dark Link, hopefully taking some revenge here for the previous death.
And already got a solid 4 hits on him.
Yeah, he's not about to let Dark Link make a fool of him twice.
Dark Link was trying there to get some stabs in. Alright, 1 to go. Alright, good game. All 5 runners finished.
Yeah, we finished, right on screen there, 122.54. So GG to Chroma, showed us something fancy that even our top players generally won't touch. So that is awesome to see. And it was a great exhibition from all our players. The race was ultra competitive, back and forth. React and Dude changed for a bit. Chroma caught right up to Dude for a while. And I mean, really between Chroma, Chosen, and Trav, there was a lot of juggling a position too till close to the end.
Yeah. All runners finished, and we get to see that alternate route from Chroma. So yeah, good games to everybody. Hey, looks like we got some folks entering the room with us. What's going on, guys? We got Chosen and React in here.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Good game.
GG, React.
Thanks, you too, Chosen.
Thank
Nice
you.
job finishing at Dark Link.
Yeah, I can't believe that was my... I'll tell you the truth, that was my first time ever finishing a fight straight up against Dark Link.
Wow.
It went well.
Saved it for the marathon.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I know you had some really bad luck, I think, around P4 that kind of set you back, but you still ended real strong.
I was watching my splits, and I was plus a minute 40 in P4, but then I know I saved a lot of time in P5 with Eco Key, really quick block key room, and then my VOD was like the best VOD I've ever had.
Yeah, I see the gold split on the screen. Speaking of block rooms, React, that was I was a little worried going to P5, but I think you smoked that one.
That was, that worked out. I don't think I could really ask for anything better than that on any run, much less this one.
I got the middle finger in the P2 block room. Throwback to your championship last year.
Yeah,
That's
you
so
needed
annoying.
to cast Fairy to get through there, right? Was that you?
Yeah, I casted Fairy. Yep.
Yeah, Fairy, not jump, as I might have done in the past. And then they just keep climbing and you can't get over it.
Yeah, either Fairy or reset the room.
Yep.
My opinion, Fairy's the way to go.
Hey, Trav. GG.
Thank you. GG's to everyone else too.
GG. I believe I couldn't really keep up with the other streams. At one point I tried to keep up the other streams to see where React was, and then I walked left out of the P3 passage through the graveyard. But was I the only one with attack 4?
Yeah,
Trav also had attack 4.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, but you two were the only ones that got there.
Nice. Try to level the playing field with Dude and React, but that's not enough.
Yeah, on top of this being a race, I was on PB pace till about P5 and then missed Eco Key and had an awesome block room, and P5 was P5.
Yeah, P5 being P5. What else can you expect?
It
Yep.
was a good race. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, ZeldaSpeedRuns. This was awesome.
Yeah, and I think you guys put on a good show. Maybe we hopefully we inspired some donations to raise some more money for this cause. I see you here in Chroma too. Thank you very much for the alt route. I think there was a lot of excitement over that. You might have inspired Lordo to try it.
It's not necessarily like something I would recommend all the time. The setup for the boost is pretty fun to do, and if you can get fairly consistent with that, then it's a thing. But it was mostly because I was in a position where I knew I wasn't going to be quite fast enough to beat Dude with the time that he had ahead of me, and at that point, I'm comfortable enough with it. It's almost the same to me whether I'm going one way or the other. It was Dark Link that ended things for me. That straight up Dark Link fight on my last life. That was the issue.
I mean, that's what the incentive is for. People, it's like the incentive is just like people know you know how to fight Dark Link, and they're like, now let's make it more difficult and see what happens. And you gave the people like the show they paid for, I guess.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's only so many things that you can do for incentives in a game like this, and I sort of see Alt Route as like somewhat gimmicky, as this thing that is a little bit harder than the regular route with the extra boost and stuff. That can save, I don't know, up to like 5 seconds or so if it's really clean, but it has to be really clean. It's a thing I've done that's been required in some challenge categories, and it is an option for getting through GP. So hope that was enjoyable.
I enjoyed you.
Yeah. It totally was enjoyable. Good job.
All right. Thanks, everybody. It looks like we're going to have to cut here in just a moment, but I do want to remind everybody that the Zelda 2 All Keys tournament is basically starting right now. I think there is still an opportunity to join in. So if you have any interest, please hit one of us up and we can direct you the right way, or visit the Zelda 2 Discord. It should be an excellent time, and we'll probably see a number of these runners in very choice positions when it comes to bracket time for that race.
Woo.
Thank
All
you,
right.
comms. Thank you, Speedruns. Thank you, runners. So much fun.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you, everyone. GG's.
Thank you to everyone, especially right now to chat, for getting us that incentive met to see Dark Link not cheesed. See it, the manly strats, as the incentive put it. We are going to be taking a short break, heading over to our break screen for a few minutes as we get our next run set up. Everybody, we will be back shortly.